Listening to this week's podcast. Oh, this was from last week with that 24-year-old kid who was about ready to get married, was sick in New York and wanted to move down to Florida, and I was giving him some advice saying he was young. It was a good time to do it, but just know that you are moving a world away from Jersey and New York. So anyways, he says, this guy says, listening to this week's podcast, and just want to throw in my 2 cents about this kid wanting to move to Florida, as I was in the exact same situation as this guy. I think you gave some great advice. Thank you. Making a big change and moving away from family, friends, etc. is a big change, and it takes a while to get that same setup going in your new place. The only additional advice that I could give to this guy is to travel. Check out places and see what he and his girlfriend like. Try Chicago, Portland, L.A., San Diego, Austin, etc. Those are some great cities you just picked there, by the way. Each have their own vibe and attitude and job markets. You were spot on with the New York Northeast attitude. I think he's talking to me now. It's foot on the floor, get out of the way. I found it to be too confrontational and self-centered, I guess, when he lived other places. And this guy seems to have a similar outlook. Unfortunately, I think his girlfriend is right. New York isn't going to change. He's just going to become more bitter. And if they get a house, mortgage, kids, etc., it probably only gets worse, and he feels like he's tied down to the place he's in. Like you said, he's young enough trying to make a move, and if it doesn't work, he can move back. I just say he should do some traveling and scout first. At a minimum, it gives him a break from the New York attitude and lets you clear your head and get a perspective. Best case, he finds somewhere that seems like a fit for his and his girlfriend's personalities. Yeah, that's a huge fucking thing. You know what I mean? You definitely want to travel around and try some shit out, because if you just go to one place, God forbid you don't like it, but your girl or your boyfriend loves it, and then you're stuck there. I know somebody like that. They moved to Tampa. And the dude loves it, and his wife is fucking miserable. You see it on her face every time I see her. Hey, you still kind of not liking it? And she's just, you're warming up to it a little bit, and she just fucking shakes her head slowly. And, the guy's an idiot. And he's like, I don't know what a problem is. I love it. It's like, I don't know how he does that. I couldn't. If Neil was miserable living somewhere, if your girl is miserable, that's it, man. You got to get the fuck out of there. She's going to bring that misery down on you. All right, men are studs, women are whores. I had that conversation last week with the lovely Nia. She says, Bill, my wife and I went to a marriage retreat one summer, and the guest speaker said a quote that stuck with me. The quote was, a key that can open many locks is called a master key. A lock that can be opened with many keys is considered useless. Just a bit of ammunition the next time you get into a heated argument. Stay safe. Go fuck yourself. I would love to say that I get it. I get that quote, but I don't get it as it pertains to men are studs, women are whores. Because I know what I was saying, that the reason why if a guy goes out and bangs a bunch of women, he's a stud because that's a skill. He has to talk all those women into bed. He's got to woo them. He's got to seduce them, He's got to spin them around the dance floor. He's got to tell some jokes. He's got to spin the plates. Women can just show up and be like, all right, who wants it? Line it up. And they can have a fucking 10-on-1 if they want to. You know what I mean? That's what I was saying. So he says a key that can open many locks is considered a master key. So I guess that's the guy being able to talk all the broads in bed. A lock that can be opened with many keys is considered useless. That's where it goes off the rails for me. And fuck all you guys who are laughing at me. I don't get it. Because, I don't know, if you kind of look at guys, for the most part, we will fuck anything that moves. So we can also be considered useless. Led around by our dicks. I really wish if I could go back and be young again. And go back to that Lady Gaga concert, sorry. Oh, there's another dumb fucking thing she said that annoyed me. If you want to do something, and people say you can't do it, long pause, you just roll the fuck over them. All right, and everybody goes fucking nuts. And that statement really bugged me. It's like, you're really speaking to like 20,000 people at this point. Lady Gaga, don't you think you shouldn't be painting with such a broad brush? Don't you think you should maybe realize what the fuck some people are thinking to do? What if you have a pedophile in the crowd?